Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy was one of the most well-received and talked about comic book trilogy movies to date. Andrew and Tom are great as Spider-Man, but Tobey will always have a special place in all of our hearts. As the first two films were beloved, especially Part 2, the third film got nothing but hate. Raimi's original plan was only to include the Sandman as the main villain, with Harry becoming the new Goblin as a side plot. But the studio spoke up and demanded Raimi put Venom in the film, despite the director not knowing much about the character. So Venom was added in, and then everyone said the movie sucked due to too many villains. But that's not what this video is about. In this one, I'm talking about the cancelled Spider-Man 4 and what it could have been. After the release of Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi planned on making the fourth movie, wanting it to be the best of all of them, serving as the redemption from Part 3. It was set to release in 2011 and had Tobey, Kirsten Dunst, and most of the original cast returning. James Vanderbilt was brought in to write the script for not only Part 4, but Parts 5 and 6 as well, so the studio was planning on 6 films. This one was going to feature the Vulture as its main villain, played by John Malkovich, and Mysterio, played by Bruce Campbell. Also, Anne Hathaway was going to play Felicia Hardy. But she wasn't going to be the Black Cat. Instead, the Vultress, who would have been the Vulture's daughter and partner, more or less. And that's pretty dumb. So the Black Cat isn't even the Black Cat, but the Vulture's daughter. Long before Venom was thrown into Part 3, Raimi wanted Ben Kingsley to play the Vulture alongside Sandman, but it just didn't work out that way. And, as the storyboards show, Mysterio would have been a lot fatter than usual. Bruce Campbell appeared as a cameo in all 3 Spider-Man films, all as different characters. Or was it the illusionist, Quentin Beck, just pretending to be different people? Originally, I thought Carnage was going to be in this one, played by Matthew Lillard, but I guess that was just fan casting. Anyway, so what stopped the movie from getting made? Well, it was one character, the Lizard. The studio wanted Raimi to include Dylan Baker as Kirk Connors in the film, and finally turn him into the Lizard. But Sam Raimi wasn't having it. By this point, he was burned out on Spider-Man anyway. The studio's interference in Part 3 killed it for him. So now that they were pushing the Lizard on him, Raimi decided to back away and let Sony go ahead with their reboot, which they were planning anyway. That's kind of screwed up. They had a whole contingency planned out to reboot it with James Vanderbilt writing the script for The Amazing Spider-Man as a backup, just in case Raimi's movie didn't work out. But with that said, let's see what the plot was about. According to various reports, the film was going to start off with a montage of Spider-Man capturing various villains like Mysterio, Shocker, and the Rhino. There are some storyboard images that show Mysterio being apprehended. And after that, Spider-Man starts to feel pretty good about cleaning up the city. He returns to his apartment to find that he's been evicted and that the building has been condemned. Then, he moves to a new place. Also, he's now an actual staff member of the Daily Bugle. So things are going pretty well. Until the Vulture shows up. So the Daily Bugle gets bought by a wealthy investor who happens to be Adrian Toomes. Toomes' daughter, Felicia Hardy, would end up falling for Peter, nearly driving another wedge between him and Mary Jane. It's not specified if Peter and MJ have fully healed their relationship following Part 3, but Felicia Hardy doesn't help matters. At one point, the Vulture disables a helicopter and sends it crashing to the street. Spider-Man appears and saves the pilots, but then engages in a fight with the Vulture, damaging his suit. Later on, the Vulture develops a hatred for Spider-Man and fights him again, kicking his ass pretty badly, taking the fight to a rooftop. He then rips Spider-Man's mask off and is shocked to see that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. He then goes to kill Peter, but is knocked off the roof, falling and getting impaled by his own wings. Later on, after his death, Felicia Hardy would go after Spider-Man to get revenge, possibly teaming up with another villain, Kraven. There isn't really much else known about the film, but I can't say it would have been that great. I'm not a huge Vulture fan to begin with, and the plot doesn't seem as good as Spider-Man 3. At least not to me. Anyway guys, that was the Spider-Man 4 that we almost got. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.